The clock above the Grand Central Terminal struck midnight, echoing through the marble hall like the sound of a countdown. Outside, New York glowed under a thin layer of rain, the streets glistening like dark glass. Inside the crowd, a man in a gray overcoat adjusted his cufflinks and checked his watch. His name was Adrian Cross, the kind of man who blended in everywhere yet was never really invisible. To the world, he was a high-end security consultant. To the few who knew better, he was a ghost, a planner of impossible jobs. He wasn't a thief for greed. He was a perfectionist who hated flaws, and the world, as he saw it, was full of them. For months, Adrian had been studying the Lexington Diamond Reserve, a private facility that stored priceless gems for the elite, politicians, CEOs, even royal families. It was rumored to be unbreakable. That made it irresistible. But this job wasn't about stealing a diamond. It was about stealing an illusion. His team was small, precise. Lynn Ward, a master illusionist who had once been the youngest magician on Broadway before a scandal ended her career. Miles Wire Carter, a hacker who could breach digital firewalls faster than most people could unlock their phones. Cole Mercer, a demolition expert with the steady calm of a man who'd seen too much war. And Rhea Quinn, a social engineer, charming, manipulative, and dangerous, a woman who could talk her way into any restricted room on Earth. They gathered one night in a Manhattan penthouse that looked out over the river. Rain struck the glass walls, blurring the skyline into streaks of light. Adrian stood before a holographic projection of the reserve, a geometric masterpiece carved into a cliffside upstate, half underground, half mirrored to the sky. "This isn't about the vault," he said, his tone cool and deliberate. "It's about the data." "Data?" Lena frowned. "I thought we were stealing gems." Adrian smiled faintly. "That's what everyone else will think." He explained the real target. The reserve wasn't just a storage facility. It was a money laundering front for a global conglomerate laundering billions through diamonds. The vault held digital ledgers proving it. Adrian's goal was to steal the records and destroy the evidence, but make it look like a traditional jewel heist. "The illusion," he said, "must be perfect. We steal what they expect us to steal." The plan was executed like a symphony. Rhea infiltrated the reserve's PR department weeks earlier under the guise of a journalist preparing a behind-the-scenes feature. Wire mapped out the internal network, inserting hidden relays into their servers disguised as maintenance updates. Cole studied the architecture. Every tunnel, every emergency exit, every motion sensor. Lena rehearsed the choreography of the distraction, a stage illusion inside the lobby during a gala scheduled for the same night. Adrian moved in silence, like the conductor of a storm. The night of the heist arrived with unnerving calm. The reserve's annual charity gala brought together the kind of people who smiled for cameras, but whispered secrets to the powerful. Crystal chandeliers reflected 1,000 false smiles. Lena, in a scarlet gown, took the stage. Her act was the evening's entertainment, a tribute to illusion and deception. Behind the crowd's polite applause, Wire's voice came through Adrian's earpiece. "System infiltration complete. Cameras are mine. Motion sensors on loop. You've got 15 minutes before their watchdog AI wakes up." Adrian, dressed as a security coordinator, moved through restricted corridors with professional ease. Cole trailed behind him, wheeling a maintenance case that didn't contain tools. It held the micro-explosive charges calibrated to open the vault without setting off seismic alarms. In the control room, the chief of security sipped coffee and watched the monitors, unaware that every feed he saw was a replay. 3 minutes to vault, Adrian murmured. "Copy," Wire replied. "You're invisible." The vault itself was a marvel of modern arrogance. A transparent chamber built from reinforced quartz, suspended above a hollow chamber like a floating heart. Inside were trays of diamonds glowing under blue light, like frozen fire. Cole placed the charges with surgeon precision. The hum of the timer mixed with the rhythm of Lena's applause, echoing faintly from the ballroom above. When the vault opened, Adrian ignored the glittering stones. Instead, he went straight to the console embedded in the central pillar, an isolated quantum storage system. He inserted a slim drive. "Data transfer initiated," Wire said. "You're pulling 700 terabytes of financial transactions. Make it clean," Adrian replied. But then, the sound, a metallic click from the upper hatch. Someone else was there. Adrian turned sharply, gun raised, only to see Rhea stepping out of the shadows. "You're early," he said quietly. She smiled. You always told me timing was everything. He frowned. What are you doing here? She tilted her head. Making sure you don't forget the diamonds. The Cole's expression darkened. This wasn't part of the plan. Ria's eyes glimmered with amusement. Neither was lying to your team, Adrian. Before he could answer, she held up her wristwatch. The holographic projection above it displayed their live comms feed. And in it, a shadowed figure watching them through the security cameras. You're not the only one running this job, she whispered. Wire's voice crackled through the earpiece. Adrian, we've got another signal piggybacking the system. Someone's cloned our feed. Then static. The vault lights flickered. The blue glow dimmed to red. Lockdown initiated, said an automated voice. Cole cursed, slamming a charge against the backup door. We're compromised. Adrian looked at Ria. You knew. Her smirk faded. Not until now. The detonation cracked the glass walkway. They sprinted through smoke and alarms, emerging into chaos. Guests screaming as the gala erupted in confusion. Fire alarms blared. In the panic, Lena grabbed her stage props and vanished through a service elevator. Cole drove the getaway van through the rear gate. Adrian and Ria barely made it out before the building's shutters sealed behind them. 2 hours later, in a safe house overlooking the Hudson, Wire paced nervously. That wasn't a system glitch, he said. Someone hijacked my network. Adrian sat silently, staring at the encrypted drive on the table. Ria watched him, conflicted. You said we were stealing data to expose them, she said. Not to sell it. He met her gaze calmly, and I meant it. She shook her head. Then what did you really steal? Adrian smiled faintly. You'll see. The next morning, the news exploded across every channel. Anelodzi alel gelels messi ng. GLO Bill 6 del Rausier v Securities IXPOSD. But buried in the chaos was a quieter revelation. A massive cyber leak exposing offshore comps and corruption linked at multiple governments and corporations. No one connected it to the heist. Wire turned to Adrian stunned. You released it. Adrian nodded slowly. The illusion worked. They think we stole diamonds, but what we really took was their power. Lena grinned. So the jewels, fake, he said. Switched days ago. The real diamonds are still in the vault. Cole laughed under his breath. You played all of us. Not you, Adrian said. You played your parts perfectly. Ria crossed her arms. And me. He looked at her for a long moment. You were the misdirection I needed. Every magician needs one. She didn't smile. And if I hadn't walked in, then it wouldn't have been real. Outside, the sun rose over the skyline, soft gold spilling over glass towers. In a luxury boardroom uptown, a group of furious executives stared at the morning news, their secret network exposed, their names trending in scandal. A single envelope sat on the table. Inside it was a black card with a symbol embossed in silver, a circle with a line through it. No name, no demand, just a message written beneath it. Illusions are only dangerous when you believe they're real. Weeks later, Adrian stood alone at Grand Central again, the same watch ticking quietly on his wrist. A stranger brushed past him, slipping a folded note into his pocket. He opened it. Inside was a single line of text, "You're not done yet. The next illusion begins in Paris." He smiled slightly. The game, as always, had only just begun. The end.